Over the years, I've really struggled with putting myself out there to attract new clients into my business. I get nearly all of my clients through referrals, and that feels comfortable to me. When it comes to actually going out and finding new people and attracting them into my world, I find that there's a huge resistance, and I really struggle with this. It's held my business back. It's held me back in terms of the way I feel about my business and the success I could or should have would have had. And over the past 6 to 12 months, I've really been working on this. And I feel that the solution to this for me was far simpler. And it went against everything that my coaches told me. It went against what the internet tells me to do, what social media tells me to do. And today, I want to actually dig into what has worked for me. So hopefully, if you are feeling some resistance and you need some reassurance that what you're thinking may actually be right, this episode might be the one you need to listen to. So let's jump in and I'll explain exactly where I was, where I am now, and how I believe I got there. So the question is this: how do entrepreneurs like us, who don't have an endless supply of cash, how do we leverage the best apps, virtual assistants, automation tools, and systems to scale our businesses, increase our profits, and have more time to do what we love to do each day? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name's Dr. Steve Day, and this is Systemize Your Success. Okay, so just for a bit of background, I've been running my coaching business for about 9 years. I started off basically winging it, so to speak. I had some ideas. I'd tried out a few things with working with assistants. I was just getting into task management, had a background in computing. I was dabbling with automation. I was pretty good at tech, but no real expertise to speak of. Yeah, I put myself out there, I sold my first course, and my clients were massively successful. I seemed to be a natural coach. I enjoyed it. People seemed to get on with me. They seemed to listen to what I said. They did what I asked. So it was a massively successful experience. I felt incredibly lucky that I'd done it, that I actually made that bold move to quit my job as a doctor, to figure out what I actually wanted to do in life and actually create an offering, a business that lent into my strengths and actually in an area that I'm massively interested in. That has blossomed over the years. I've spent the past 9 years developing frameworks to help people to hire, onboard, train, and work with virtual staff, remote teams, and in-house staff, to get those people to build systems, to document work, to create operation manuals, automations, now working with AI. Like all of this stuff has basically built from a need to fix these problems in my business. And then when I fix the problem, create a framework, creating a solution, I've then been able to offer that to my clients as something to help them. And many of my clients are literally like 1 step, 2 steps behind me in their journey. And they've come with me and grown as I've grown along the way. So it's been a hugely rewarding experience. And I've had some amazing success stories. However, despite all of what I've just told you, I find it incredibly hard to actually put myself out there to sell what I do. I know what I do is great. Like the results speak for themselves. The client feedback I get without me even asking for it is just remarkable. And like, honestly, like brought to tears sometimes in meetings because I just feel so grateful to be getting the appreciation from the people I'm working with and to see the joy that what I've helped them to do has given them, the freedom and the opportunities and the lifestyle that I have. Like it's just absolutely life-changing and I love it. So why then, despite all of this, have I such a resistance to actually attracting new people in? It's not because I don't know what I'm doing. I've had more marketing coaches than I like to admit to. I've spent tens of thousands of pounds on marketing coaching, on courses, on systems, on ads. I know how this stuff works. I've built funnels and I have lead magnets and I have all of this stuff, this ecosystem of ability to attract people in and sell to them, but I don't really push it. I don't utilize it. I don't sell myself. And I often thought this was maybe something like about my confidence, about not wanting to get new clients in because of like people talk about, oh, it's because of being impostor syndrome. I don't feel that. I feel I'm actually quite good at what I do. So I don't actually feel for me it was that, but still there was a blockage there. And so many people were just saying to me, you just got to get out there. You just got to basically sell and attract people in and make more money, etc., etc. And I kept on doing that. And I kept on when I got to that point of, switching on the ads or like getting putting my new lead magnet out there or whatever it was. And then I'd get this resistance and I'd pull back from it. And that work I'd put in, it would just be wasted because I'd never actually see it through that last 10% to see the fruit of all my labor. And what I realized was that I was embarrassed, or I wasn't proud of, let's say, not embarrassed, a bit strong, but maybe that is a good word, of how my courses were structured, how they were presented, how they were a little bit complicated. There wasn't a clear client journey for people to go through. Like the onboarding experience wasn't as slick as it could be. And I felt that in so many ways, it didn't reflect who I was, and it didn't reflect the value I wanted to give people. So it was great when I worked with people one-on-one, when I was coaching them, like we had fantastic results. So if I could handheld them and show them where to go, which frameworks to use, how to apply them, when to use this particular methodology, show their staff how to go through the courses and where to get access, and then coach them through it, it worked amazingly. But I've always had this fear about selling it to people I didn't have that intimate relationship with, or that intimate experience with, because I felt I wasn't going to be able to give them a hand when they needed to get over the hurdles. And that's held me back massively. But people still told me to keep selling. They still told me to create the next lead magnet, do the next webinar. And I've done automated webinars, I've done live webinars, I've done workshops, I've done, as I say, lead magnets, I've sold stuff on YouTube, like all of this stuff, but then I pull it back. Just as it's often about to become successful, because I didn't want more clients. I didn't want more people coming into this world. And against all the advice, saying, no, you don't need to do anything different. You've got an amazing ecosystem. You've got an amazing product. You just need to sell it more. I didn't. And what I realized after so many times of doing this was actually the problem was what I believe it is, that it wasn't good enough in my eyes. And that's why I wasn't selling it. There were things that should be a lot better, knowing what I know now compared to when I actually first created some of the courses. And that's why I wasn't selling it. It was clunky and slow. It did have issues and glitches. Some of the videos were out of date and didn't make sense. Some of the paths did take too long to see results. And those were the reasons why I wasn't selling it. It was nothing about my confidence, nothing about my feeling that I didn't deserve the wealth. It wasn't anything about feeling like an imposter. It was simply that I didn't believe the product that I was selling was a true reflection of who I am and what I wanted the world to perceive me as. And that is because I want people to get value from what I do. I don't want people to pay good money, come into my world, and then feel like this was a second-rate product. This was actually, they've been ripped off at all, because the content may be amazing and they may get the results, they may get all that, but I want them to have that amazing experience on day one, to feel they'd done the right decision in investing in my program. And I didn't feel on its own, my product, services and community, everything gave that impression. With me involved, I didn't have a problem with it. So what I did was stop selling, stop getting new clients in, and focus 100% on actually finding the ultimate platform that can deliver the best customer services, to utilize latest technology like AI agents and AI coaches, to bring all of my courses and coachings and methodologies into a single place, a single version of truth, a knowledge base, which is highly searchable, that you can find anything, any transcripts, and bring it all into one platform, to go through and modernize all the courses, start introducing AI as a tool to actually help people, start building more templates to make it easier for people to get results, to strip out all of the noise, all of the bulk and the bonuses that I may have added in over the years, thinking that adding more is more valuable. And actually, what people want is more results in less time, not just more stuff. And so stripping it all out, it's been a big, big challenge. But in doing so, it's allowed me to create something far more streamlined, far more beautiful, far more customer friendly, far more valuable, something that actually people can actually get involved with, engage with, get results, dip in and out of, not get lost, see where they're up to, find what they need. All of these things, these complaints that I know people had about my previous offerings, because the platforms were outdated and they were like on WordPress and stuff, and it's a bit clunky and slow. That is all gone. But it's taken me best part of 18 months in total to actually go through this journey. And all that time, my coach has been saying, Steve, you've got to sell, you've got to get on with it. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to focus on actually what I truly believe is my biggest bottleneck, if that's the word, or the Achilles heel, whatever the word is, like the resistance, that's the better word. Why was I not openly selling what I did? Because I know it was great, but yet this resistance in me stopped me from doing it. So for me, I found my resistance. It took me some time, and I had to believe in myself against what everybody else was telling me. I had to say, no, actually, this is what's important. So yeah, I mean, I'm lucky in that I've built up a good client base. I do get referrals still. I still had cash flow coming in, so I could afford to do this without really affecting me financially in any way. So I had that going for me. But I also had probably missed out on a huge amount of sales, potential sales, if I'd gone selling. But I know that deep down, I wouldn't have felt comfortable about it. I would have put the brakes on. I wouldn't have ended up doing it because I didn't want people into my world in the way it was. Now that's changed. I'm seeing like a totally different experience. I'm feeling a totally different experience when people come in. And I'm excited that now going forward, I'm going to be wanting more people into this world. I'm going to be we're just getting to the end of this development stage. We're going to be properly launching everything to our existing clients in the next month at most. And then I'm going to be starting actually inviting new people into my world. And this isn't about, I'm not doing this podcast as even a taster to what's coming. I'll do something like that in the future when we're just a little bit nearer. But it was really just to share this revelation that I had. I actually was speaking to my coach this morning, and I sent him a video over about whether or not I was going to continue with his coaching service going forward. And I explained this dream, and in doing so, I realized the challenges I'd overcome and how much I'd grown as a result of being with him and my two coaches over the past year. And so I wanted to share it because I think it was just a incredibly almost obvious problem. But because everyone else was telling me, no, you don't need to fix that. It's all good enough. And that's sort of what people say. They hear it on social media, they say it. When actually, if Apple did that, if Steve Jobs had just said, yeah, it's good enough, the mouse a bit clicky, it works all right, oh yeah, the green screen, that's good enough. We don't need to create a color monitor. If that's actually what happened in Apple, they were nowhere near the company they are today. And I'm not trying to say I'm the next Steve Jobs or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that it was so important for me to actually create a product that I'm proud of, that it was stopping me from selling. And regardless of what anybody else told me, that fundamental fact would not go away. And I resisted it for so long. Oh, I've just got to sell. I've just got to do this, just got to make this money, whatever. But if I just 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, more realistically, 3 years ago, I just done it and dedicated all my time then to just doing what I've just spent the last 6 months doing, I'd probably been in a completely different place now. Because I didn't, I'm only just seeing the potential of this decision I made. So that's it. I just wanted to explain this, that if you're in this place of resistance, if something's not feeling right, go deep, figure out what it is, and trust yourself that you know best of what it is, the reason you aren't pushing your services, the reason you aren't selling. If you're on a sales call and you're not confident, you won't make the sale 9 times out of 10. If you're confident and you really believe in your product, even if it's crap, you'll probably make the sale. You might not make the repeat sale if it's crap, but you probably make the sale because you believe in it. So I'm not going to try to say you should sell crap products, but I'm just saying that if you don't believe in your product, the sale's going to be really hard. So whatever you do, whatever service or product you have, whether you're an Apple Mac computer seller or whether you're a course coach or whatever like me, then think about, are you proud of what you're selling? And is that the reason why you're not pushing it as hard as you could, why you're not being as profitable as you could be, why you're not making as much money as you could do? Maybe it's not about selling more. Maybe it's about actually doubling down on building something you're proud to sell so it sells itself. Thanks so much indeed. I'll see you next time.